Okay, Bridgerton chat. Woo. Let's talk about Bridgerton. I kind of want to do a Bridgerton talk. I will probably blabber on and edit half of this out, but I just need to talk about Bridgerton season 3, okay? I just need to talk about it. Okay, let's get started. Spoilers alert. If you have not seen any Bridgerton series season, leave and come back. Please comment down below your favorite scene of the season. I have so many, I'm going to tell you them now. Okay, so Bridgerton season 3. It's Penelope and Colin's love story. And if you guys don't know this, I'm obsessed with Polin. Obsessed. I read their book in one day. I'm telling you, literally, brushing my teeth, reading it, eating lunch, reading it, watering flowers, still reading it. Like, I did not put that book down. I couldn't put it down. I love it. So I've actually only read 3 books of the Bridgerton series. I'm taking my time with it. I didn't want to go too fast. So I read The Viscount Who Loves Me, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, and To Sir Philip with Love. I think I always get her title wrong. But basically Anthony, Penelope, Colin, and Eloise's book. And I liked Viscount Who Loved Me, but honestly, I like the show better. There's a lot, like, I feel like, is it just me, guys? I feel like there's always one problematic thing in each Bridgerton book that needs to be fixed. I feel like, you know, the whole bee thing in The Viscount Who Loved Me needed to be fixed. Thankfully it was. And then in Penelope and Colin's, I did not like that Penelope lost all this weight and then Colin saw her. I was like, you didn't see how amazing she was before? You idiot. Sorry, I'm very defensive of Penelope. She's my girl. I am a Penelope. But, and then Eloise's I absolutely hated. I hated it. I don't even know what I rated it. It was, honestly, it was probably 2 stars. I did not like her book. Did not seem like Eloise. And so many bad things. I hated her book. That was actually, honestly, the first, Eloise's book was honestly probably the first book ever that I wanted to DNF, and I didn't. But also, fun fact, I've never DNF'd a book. I've always finished them all. Even if I absolutely hate it, I have to finish it. I don't know, that's just me. But yeah, okay, sorry. Back to Bridgerton season 3. Not gonna lie, I was kind of scared for the season. I was excited, don't get me wrong. But how they said they were gonna change, one, it wasn't time jump, which honestly, I'm not mad at. I'm fine with that. Because I kind of always hated it. It was like 10 years or something that they could have been together and they weren't. It did kind of bug me. So I was fine with that. What I didn't like is they kind of changed the premise of the book and they went with the route of the jealousy trope. Kind of like makeover, kind of like she's all that makeover stuff and then the jealousy trope, which I didn't, before I watched the season, I was not liking it because I was like, oh, okay, he only sees her because some other guy is interested in her and sees her for who she is. And he's like, oh, I've been an idiot and didn't see this, so now I want her. Now. I kind of was not excited about that. But after watching it, I loved the season. I loved it. 5 out of 5, 6 out of 5, a million out of 5 stars. They gave me all I wanted. I know some people are kind of upset with the season, but I am so excited. I loved it. I bawled my eyes out. I loved it. Okay, let's talk about my favorite scenes because I have so many and I just want to talk about them. So my first favorite scene is I couldn't wait for the whole season to come out, but I couldn't wait till the first episode because I wanted Pen to go off on Colin. I wanted her to make him feel so bad because he was mean and I was mad at him. The ending of season 2, him saying at the finale of last season, I will never date Penelope Featherington, was so horrible. Like, it's so mean. And that he didn't even think that, like, this isn't just your opinion. This is gonna affect her whole courting forever. Because a lot of the men in society look to the Bridgerton as, like, pretty much what's right, what's wrong, kind of. That none of them would even think of courting Penelope Fenderton, especially if, you know, Colin Bridgerton would look down on you if you did. So he's like ruining everything for her, and he doesn't even realize how serious this is because he's Colin Bridgerton. But yeah, so watching Pen go off on him at that ball was so good. It was so good. It's what I wanted. I wanted her to tell him, I heard you, and I did not think you could be that cruel. And I'm done. I'm done just being your friend who you just walk all over. I'm done. And I was like, oh, I love her so much. I love her so much. Next favorite scene is Penelope and Colin talking about the first time they met, while they were at, I think, the market. This was one of my favorite scenes in the book. There were so many book scenes we got and book quotes that I was eating up. I was, every time I was like, that's from the book. And there were so many things that I didn't think we were going to get, because I was like, that doesn't make sense for the new storyline they're going with the whole courting other men and the makeover and everything. Like, some of them didn't really make sense. But they made it work, and it was perfect. So yeah, so them talking about the first time they met, so stinking cute. I love the scene when they say they met, that her cape flies off in the wind, covers his head, and then he falls into mud. And so stinking cute. Like, oh. And I love too, as they say that Penelope and Colin met first before Penelope met Eloise, and I love that. Next favorite scene is the hand cutting scene. This, I would have to say, is probably my favorite scene from the book. I absolutely loved the hand cut scene. Because one, obviously, it seems like a big thing in Bridgerton is, you know, something to do with hands. Well, hand shots, you know? I'm almost touching. Whatever. I love it so much. And also I love that they put his journal in there. I did not think they were going to do that. Love that. And just her rushing to help him and be like, stop it, let me help you. And their hands touching. And obviously next, is the first kiss scene. I did not think this was gonna be in there. I did not. I thought, I'm like, why would she beg him to kiss her so she doesn't die without being kissed when she's courting to try to find a husband? Doesn't make sense. But they did make it make sense because of it all getting out of Colin helping her and her kind of getting, not shunned, but I can't think of another word. I love that Penelope was like, I'm just gonna be bold and I'm gonna ask him to kiss me because I can't have him. I need a kiss. You know, like, I just need somebody to hold on to because apparently I'm never gonna find love, be happy, you know. And I thought it was perfect for her to, like, be brave enough to ask for it, but also for Colin to be, at the time, I believe he did it as a good friend. Then, you know, like, you know what, I'm doing this for my friend. And then he kisses her. And then he fell in love, which I'm not saying that. He loved her the whole time. He just was an idiot and didn't realize how awesome she was. And I think if you see throughout even season 1, 2, 3, all of them, you can obviously see that subconsciously Colin has loved her this whole time. It's not just this season 3. I believe he said Benedict and Anthony that he was like, you know what, I think I have loved her for a long time. I just didn't realize. I was too much of an idiot to realize how amazing she was. Because if you look at, like, the friendship and how much, you know, laughs they had together, like, it could just been a friendship, but, like, you didn't tell. It was the basis of so much more. So I love that. Colin's dream sequence. Dreaming about Penelope. Next scene is obviously Colin talking with Violet about friendship and how he was trying to make it like, oh, this is about Francesca, but like he was talking about Penelope, because I loved her little side looks of her being like, is he talking about Penelope? And then like she was literally watching him almost go up to her, and he was trying to tell her, and then Lord Jedlin came in, took her away. Also, I love the kick in the butt that Riley gave Colin when she was like, you know what, Penelope's gonna get a proposal tonight. You don't act quick enough, you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life. You idiot. Like, also, oh, this was my big number one, which I think I've already talked about it, is Colin admitting that he like is mad at himself for not realizing how amazing Penelope was this whole time. Like, I needed that, because I feel like that's such a big thing that's like I loved in the book. Is like the whole book after he realized he has feelings for her, he's like, I'm an idiot. Like, how did I not see this? I am so sorry I didn't see how amazing you were. And also, he was like mad at the ton. He was like, how dare they not see how amazing she is? Incredible. Incredible. Now I want to read this book again. Okay, next is Penelope revealing herself as Whistledown. Was iconic. There's something in the book that I'm like, I kind of wish it was like that, but it's fine as this. I didn't love that Colin revealed Penelope as Lady Whistledown. Didn't love that. I kind of wanted it's like, this is Penelope's thing. She created this iconic, we call this like identity, empire, I don't know what you want to call it. She created this, so she should be the one to reveal it. Be like, yo, I'm Lady Whistledown, not stupid Cressida. You know? I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Her powerful speech. Her looking at like Eloise and Colin and everyone to like get like strength. I loved it. I also bawled my eyes out when she's at the end, when they're reading Lady Whistledown and it's Julie Andrews' voice, and then it morphs into Penelope's voice and it says, yours truly, Penelope Bridgerton. I'm gonna start crying right now. I can't. I'm not gonna start. I'm not. I'm just saying, if you guys didn't, if I'm the only one that cried at that, then I'm a whale baby. Okay. Also, I loved it's kind of like two parts, but one is when Colin goes to talk to Cressida. I was like, But when Cressida says, when he's talking about Penelope and Lady Whistledown, she says, sounds like you're jealous of her. And he's like, no, I'm not jealous. Like, she made him realize that, like, dude, because he was struggling not the whole season. He was struggling most of the season with, why am I still mad at her? He couldn't figure out why he was mad at her. And he realized, I'm not mad. He's jealous that she was able to do that and not him. And she was able to do that as a woman who doesn't have the same rights as men, that they could able to do it. Like, Colin could have done that so easily, which he did. He published a book at the end with the help of Penelope. But like, he could do that so easily, and she did this with everything against her, and secretly. Girl boss. Like, I love that Cressida was the one to make him realize that, and also his speech at the butterfly ball. Also, just side note, Philippa with the butterflies, the bugs, iconic, so stinking cute. Colin's whole speech to Penelope, when Colin says, Penelope, if just being your husband is the only thing that I get to be in this life, then I will have a very fulfilled life indeed. So stinking cute. And also, people saying that the season did not have like the line. Excuse me, that right there was a iconic line, in my opinion. Also, another iconic line is when they are in the carriage and he says, like, when he has this whole speech about how he like only finds her in his dreams and he just wants to stay in the dreams because he just wants to be near her, and he couldn't articulate how he felt to her until that moment, and it's so stinking cute. Next, obviously Lady Danbury admitting that she knew it was Pen at one point, when she figured out, like, oh, Queen Charlotte thought I was one of the Bridgertons, and then she realized there's only one other person who loves Bridgerton more than I, Pen, and she didn't tell Queen Charlotte. Which I did one little, not con, but one little thing I would change is they did not have Lady Danbury and Pen's friendship that I loved so much in the book. I loved it so much. Like, their friendship of both being powerful women. The wedding, I was so excited for this season because even if it wasn't Polin, which obviously I'm happy it was, I was like, if we don't get a happy wedding this season, I'm gonna scream. Because the first season, Daphne and the Duke, it was forced, so they both thought the other one didn't love each other. They did, but they didn't know at the time, so it was very, like, kind of sad. And then the second, we didn't even get to see Kate and Anthony get married, which I'm still bitter about. I understand you had the whole other weddings, it would have been too much, but you could have made it quick, like Francesca. You could have made it quick, but whatever. So I needed a happy wedding, and especially Polin, I needed to be happy. I know he was kind of mad at her still, but I loved just the one thing is, well, one, she looked absolutely gorgeous. Can we put a picture? Absolutely gorgeous, and I love that her dress was pink. Just something different. I loved it. I love is that she's going to walk down the aisle and she stops because she's like, I'm so, like, I don't want to marry him if he's mad at me, you know, or forcing him into this if he doesn't want this. And her staring him, and he gives a little, like, a smile and a nod, like, it's okay. We're good. I'm a little so grumpy, but it's okay. And so then she's like, okay. And their wedding was so cute. Also, her walking down the aisle to Yellow by Coldplay bawled my eyes out. Bawled my eyes out. Oh, also, Eloise crying during the wedding. Did not know I needed that, and also bawled my eyes out with her because it's so cute. Because I know she was struggling with them getting married, but seeing her brother and her best friend getting married, and also her officially becoming a Bridgerton, is probably, like, iconic to her. Like, oh, it's so good. I do say another downside, just another con, just a little baby con. I felt like Eloise and Penelope's fighting went too long. I think, what was the point? There was one point I'm like, this is when it should have ended. Oh, I felt like it was when Penelope wrote about herself, she had to write about herself and write all the horrible things. I feel like that made it even, in my opinion. I feel like, yeah, Eloise mad, you wrote about me, you didn't tell me all this. But then, also, I feel like it proved Penelope's point why she didn't tell Eloise, because how she blabbed her mouth to Cressida, and then everyone else overhears it and ruins it for Penelope, so I think it was justified why she didn't tell you. And I feel like in the book, I'm pretty sure at one of the, I forget if it was Eloise's book, or I think it was Eloise's book, at the end, she pretty much was like, yeah, no, you shouldn't have told me. I would have blabbered my mouth. I could not keep that secret. But whatever. I'm happy that they became friends at the end again, but then Eloise left, so I was mad. Yeah, I felt like that would have been the perfect thing. It's like, you know what? You talked bad about me and Louis Wisdom, and then now you talked about yourself and kind of ruined your whole courting thing that you wanted. We're even. I think that should have been it. I think they fought too long, in my opinion. Next, oh, obviously, anytime Pen and Colin dance, I loved, but their wedding dance to You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. So good. So good. I loved all the songs this season. Just filmed a whole clip and my mic wasn't on. So let's do this again. Deja vu. You won't, it's not deja vu for you, but for me it is. So one of the last favorite parts of mine from season 3 would have to be Lady Featherton and Penelope's new close relationship. I absolutely adore Lady Featherton now. And I would not say that from the books. In season 1, I absolutely hated her. But they did a full, like, not a 180 on her, a reveal of who she truly is. And I loved when Colin kind of went off on her about, like, and protected Penelope and was like, you suck, basically. And she kind of like, whoa, I think I do suck. My bad. And you get to, I feel like that's most of the time. Like, most villains, I love when they show a villain and they say, like, most villains aren't born as villains. They become villains because of trauma. And so I feel like we got to understand Lady Featherington a little more of, she thought she was getting to a marriage of security with Penelope's dad, and turns out it wasn't love and it wasn't security, because he gambled all the money away and then died and left everything to her to deal with, which she's not allowed to deal with because she's a woman. So I really love their new close relationship, and so adorable, and I love her as a mother now. She's so caring, like she cares. She's always cared, but she's like showing her caring to them. I think that's so sweet, and I'm so excited for future seasons. I really hope she gets her love match. I think Lady Featherton deserves it. We see Violet. Oh my gosh, I love that side plot with Violet and Lady Danbury's brother. So stinking cute. Violet deserves to be happy again. I think Edmund would want that for her. So excited to see that happen, and I really think Lady Featherton deserves to be happy too. And yeah, I feel like side plots that I didn't enjoy this season was Benedict's and Miss Tilly, I think her name was. I did not like Miss Tilly. No offense to Miss Tilly. I just didn't vibe with her, and I didn't understand her purpose. Like, I didn't hate her. She's very cool, but like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? You know, like Benedict and her, and that whole storyline I didn't get. But then they hinted that his story might be next season. He might be the lead, but then also maybe Francesca. It's kind of confusing. So yeah, I thought that was kind of pointless. I didn't get it. And another subplot that I didn't get was the Mondricks. I thought it was really cool that, you know, just a cousin or aunt of hers, like, was passed down to her, but then she can't obviously have the title, so her son got it. So I just thought that was funny, like a little kid in charge of the house is funny. But I thought it was cool that they enter into society, because, like, then we got to see them at balls, and them trying to understand society and throw their own ball was really cool. But then he had to sell his bar, and he was really sad about that. And then that was it. I was like, are we going to find out more in future seasons? Because I did not understand the purpose. But that's just me. Yeah, I think that's all. I absolutely love this season. Please comment down below what was your favorite part of the season. Also, please comment down below which book I should read next. I'm teeter-tottering between Francesca's and Benedict's. This is weirdly the one season I'm not reading in order, which is random, but because like now the show, it's not going in order, so like why do I have to read it in order? Going to read one of those next, but I don't know which one. I'm just so curious how Benedict will act in his books. So interesting. But then also I want to learn more about Francesca, because I absolutely loved her this season. I love I believe the actress is Hannah Dodd. Loved her. I feel like she looks so much like Daphne, and I feel like she did a really good job. I love how it wasn't meant to be, but a lot of fans are picking up like she might be neurodivergent. I thought that was interesting, and I love what's his name? I heard you guys say John. So stinking cute, and I loved their little quiet sessions they had together. They're so cute. Yeah, so after love the season, I'm gonna probably go watch it now. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It means so much to me. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Go watch Bridgerton season 3. I will never court Penelope Bridgerton. I just said Penelope Bridgerton. I'm just chitty chatty. I'm saying random stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna cut half of this out. You don't even know how much jibber jabber I had to cut out of this video. I wouldn't stop shutting up. I can't shut up. I can't. Look at me. I can't stop. I don't know how to shut up. I'm gonna cut all that out.